Well, hello everyone. Good morning and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. My name is Amy and I will be with you for the show today. And we are starting off here in a very overcast Kenya at Old Donyo Lodge with a elephant bull that has come to quench his thirst. Isn't he just beautiful? Look at those tusks, very impressive indeed. Older individual, quite tattered at the ears, and just the size of the head. Very, very majestic start for us here at the Waterhole Show. Now remember everyone that this is a live and interactive show, so please do chat to me. It is Sunday Fun Day, and who knows what's going to pop out at the Waterholes, if nothing else, just to have a relaxing time together, enjoying nature all across Africa. You can send through any of your comments and questions via WhatsApp. You can join the conversation on X using the hashtag WildEarth, also through our social media channels, chatting to us in our YouTube chat stream, or using the WildEarth website or app. Looks like he has all the time in the world to enjoy some water here. I've no idea what we're going to see today. It's definitely warmed up here in the Lowveld in comparison to the last 2 days, so maybe some of our locations in the Lowveld will see more action than they have previously, with more animals heating up, elephants maybe wanting to come and cool down. Looks like some lucky guests are heading out on Gabe Drive. How amazing is that? I think these elephants have sort of just become part of the furniture here at Old Donyo. So often visiting the Waterhole here. Now yesterday and the day before, actually, sorry, not yesterday, I wasn't with you yesterday, but the few days before that, we had quite a lot of animals arriving here at Old Donyo, whether it was giraffe, zebra, eland, oryx. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen today, with it being more overcast, maybe a little bit cooler, although it may be quite humid as well, but it does maybe mean that we won't see as much variety in species popping out here, but who knows, we've still got the whole show to go, and weather can change in 2 hours. Tracy, it's good to have you here with us as well, and yeah, I'm looking forward to the show. I'll be with you for the next few days, so I'm looking forward to that. It's always interesting when you do multiple shows one after the other, how weather can influence the animals, seeing how their behavior patterns change, and also, of course, every chance to see something really special. I love listening to the sounds of the water as well. There's a few doves here, back and forth along the water's edge. Melinda, you're from Randburg, and you're saying good morning and how good it is to be spending time with everyone in these wonderful places. It is wonderful, isn't it? Great way to spend part of your Sunday. So 50, this is a very impressive tusker here at Kenya. Not quite as big as 1 ton, but still those tusks are very long, nice and thick as well. And it's always impressive to see that when it comes to elephant bulls. He just looks big, doesn't he? Everything about him carrying a lot of muscle weight, looking in very good condition too. It looks like a white-browed sparrow weaver actually just there on the left. Incredible the size comparison with these little birds next to this giant. Oh wow, that's very cool. Here we have one of those oryx I was talking about. Oh, slowly but surely some more animals are arriving. Interesting, that dynamic between these two elephants though. Do you notice how the one that was here moved to the side? And he had his time, and I love that respect between them as well. Not necessarily needing to stand his ground, and rather just move off, let the other one have its space. Still here together, happy to share for the most part. We'll see, maybe this other one's going to come and greet this boy. They have their own social dynamics, and I wish I could speak elephant, but we try our best to interpret what they are saying. Zebras are wanting to approach. Here they come. Amazing, all the species are coming out. We've got the fringe-eared oryx here close up. We've got some eland in the background there, and there were also some zebras around too. There's one. My name is Amy, and today we're going to be doing things a little bit differently.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Petro, that is a very interesting question you've asked with regards to potentially being scared of hungry cats when you're on an open vehicle on safari. And I suppose to someone who's maybe not familiar with open vehicles out on drive or driving around the bush in them, it can seem completely crazy to an extent to be on a vehicle like that, in surrounded by potentially dangerous animals or those that are predators. But actually, Petro, what happens, and it's an amazing thing, is that these animals become what we call habituated, specifically to vehicles and humans on those vehicles. When it comes to predators specifically, they don't view the vehicle as food, or even humans, well, most animals. Even on foot, it's more of a threat than anything else. But when it comes to the vehicle, it gets to a point with these animals that the vehicle is just a thing that is out here. It's part of our environment. It poses no threat to them. And so you could even see when that vehicle drove past the waterhole here, that elephant on the far side didn't even worry about it or pay it any attention. Would have heard it, potentially smelt it, maybe even seen it, but it didn't react at all, and that's because it's completely comfortable with its presence. And so when it comes to lions or cheetahs or leopards, even if they are hungry, the vehicle isn't something for them to eat or prey upon. And so it allows us to be out in the wild, in the open, on these vehicles, and be able to get incredibly close to these animals, which is part of the amazing experience of being on safari. Well, what a start here in Kenya, my goodness me. Let's head over to Namibia now and see what's happening at Safari Hook. Well, another Ellie is here and he's busy having a drink. Looks like he's splashed off already earlier. There's a few springbuck in the background there on the right. We had a lioness here earlier this week trying to hunt, which was very exciting. Joyful hello, thank you for joining us and thank you for your question. You want to know how tall an elephant can grow to. So the males are larger than females, generally speaking, and a male can reach between 3 to 4 meters at the shoulder, which is between 10 to 11 feet or so. Incredibly high, and that's just the shoulder, so the head will go a little bit higher than that as well, probably another maybe half a meter to a meter depending on the size of the animal. And the females will reach between 2 to 3 meters at the shoulder. Looks like all these springbuck are enjoying a little bit of a cool down. What pretty antelope they are with their coloration like that. Both male and females having horns, the males being a lot thicker than the females being a little bit skinnier on top of the head. Well, so I believe that the lions have been hanging around here at Safari Hook. Yesterday evening they were seen, and they were unsuccessful in hunting a gemsbok. So that's very exciting to hear that they're still in the area, still hungry, still looking for food. We had the sighting of the single lioness, so I'm not sure how many lions were around yesterday, but who knows, there may be a special surprise for us yet. Speaking of gemsbok, there's one that made it through the night. Silvio, hello, you're joining us all the way from Brazil. It is so wonderful to have you on board. Welcome, and I do hope that you enjoy your time at the waterhole with us today. Oh wow, here we have some waterbuck. The male closest to us with the beautiful horns, and the females in the background there.
Oh, wow.
My full name is Mpho Tikani. I grew up in Soweto. My first animal that I filmed said to dog. Okay, no, it's my first animal that I filmed, I think it was an impala. Best sighting ever, I would say it was actually this year, 2024. But it was at this Cedric when we had Mulwati and TP on a warthog kill. I think we have to cut it.
The bush, full of beauty, wonder, and absolute chaos. And now, all that madness has its own show. It's called a Wild Bush Week. the countdown of the most outrageous, heart-stopping and sometimes downright ridiculous wildlife moments of the week. Lions throwing their weight around. Hyenas gate-crashing the buffet. Leopards doing, well, leopardy things. Each week, it's a fresh reel of safari gold. A mix of drama,
She's just got an impala, everybody.
danger, and a healthy dose of laughter. So, if you fancy a highlight show with bite, and I don't mean just the animals, tune in to a Wild Bush Week. You bring the tea, and we'll bring the tusks, tails, and teeth.
Say this is 100% the scientific reason behind it, but there are a few theories and ones that do make sense in my mind, although there are some exceptions to the theories that sort of some antelopes that don't fit into every category, and actually the springbuck is one of them, because they are a little bit smaller than the impalas, but both males and females have horns, whereas generally what the theory is that we are looking at is, of course, defense against predators. The reason horns are there mainly for defense, but also then for specifically for males who compete with one another. Those horns are important to be able to defend themselves, but also offend and attack with them when and if needed. And generally, the females who have horns are in more open habitats. Therefore, their horns are needed to defend against predators, because they are not using bushes and thickets and tall grass to hide their young. The gemsbok being a prime example of that, if you compare it to the kudu. For example, nyalas, even waterbuck, although they do come into the open, they generally stick to thicker areas, using that as a defense rather than, for example, gemsbok or oryx that are very much in the open, and therefore the females will use their horns to defend their young. Same goes for things like sable and roan antelopes as well. There is another idea that it is male mimicry to protect young males from the infanticide from older males by confusing their identity. That's something that I've read, which was very interesting to me as well. So with them all having horns, the males can't clearly identify who the other young males that might be their competition could be in the future. I don't know how much water that one holds, but it is one of the theories out there that you might read about. So generally, when it comes to smaller species of antelope, the males will have horns and not the females, if you think of duiker and steenbok, for example. And that's generally because the horns are used to more likely to fight rivals than actually to ward off predators. Whereas if you get to the larger species that are in more open habitats, the horns are used to actually defend predators, and the females need to have them as well. But like I say, there are exceptions that don't fit into those categories, and then we actually have to look more of the social structure perhaps. All right, let's head over to Tau. Well, the last few moments there, we had a baby springbuck on screen with the biggest ears I've ever seen relative to the size of an animal, my word. We've come over here to Tau, where there are some more waterbuck. It looks like they are actually chewing, so I think they're eating some of the water plants there that they found on that side. Just to finish off the female antelope horn conversation, I find this very fascinating. Is another theory is that with regards to social structure, is that females who have horns also need to determine a hierarchy between them. So for those that have, for example, impalas, the females don't have horns, but there isn't necessarily any sort of a hierarchy within their structure, whereas things like animals like gemsbok and other horned female antelopes may have a social structure in which they also are competing, not necessarily as intensely as with males, but their horns are needed for that as well. So there we go, Lion Lloyd. I don't know if I fully answered your question, but it is nice to be able to explain some of the different perspectives and possible answers to that. And at the end of the day, I think it's a little bit of everything. From here, we're going to head over to Tembe and see what's happening there this morning. Well, our elephants are back. Some of their favorite spots here at Tembe are these wallows when they fill up with water and create some lovely mud. So we found one here that is enjoying himself. Kez, hi, you are joining us from Zimbabwe and you would like to know which animals amongst the big five can attack an elephant. So if we look at the big five, in terms of predators, you're looking at leopard and lion. Kez, sorry, I believe you lost me there, but I was just answering a question regarding the big five. When it comes to the predators of the big five, which is lion and leopard, the species that would be likely to be able to take something like an elephant would be that of the lion. And the reason behind that is because they can hunt in a group, in a pride, whereas a leopard is an individual animal. And so the size really is only the younger ones that lions would be able to attempt to hunt. And there can be multiple individuals that can help with taking it down. And that is why lions are really the only known predator to regularly be able to hunt elephant success. It's nice to hear so many bird calls here at Tembe. It's one of the best spots for birding up in northern KwaZulu-Natal. Can definitely hear the weavers are starting again, which is such an exciting time. Lots of little yellow birds are going to be fluttering about, starting to weave their incredible nests. John, elephants live to about, on an average, 60 years old. Some are known to live as old as 80, some live only until about 50, but on average we say 60 years being the lifespan for elephants.
And that's it for this morning's drive.
She's just got her Impala, everybody.
And we're going to be heading out and seeing what animals we can find.
Can you hear that? The wild is calling.
Interesting to see where they head to now if they come down towards the waterhole. Oh, there's another one arriving. No wonder that one's moving out the way. Always an interesting dynamic when a new individual arrives. Probably some conversations happening there. Sometimes they move off to one of the other wallows or maybe to the waterhole itself. We might find a bit of tussling going on. They love to clash their tusks a little bit. These are two younger boys in comparison to the older one that we can see there. Just purely based on size as well as tusks. We'll see if this boy's gonna have a drink or maybe have a bit of a swim. I've seen them swim here in all kinds of weather. Definitely looks like he's having a drink first at least. Looks like a heron just landed on the opposite bank. Definitely a breezy day here. You can see those leaves of the weeping verbene with the flowers there blowing in the breeze quite strongly. Also the texture of the water. You can see that the wind is affecting the surface. All of a sudden the elephants have disappeared. I think they've gone around the corner there. I think he's going to follow suit as well. Oh, I'm very happy sticking around for a little bit longer. Maybe the water is sweeter on the other side. Alright, as this boy heads off, we're going to see what's happening at Ongoma. Oh wow, what a view! Such a beautiful elephant that's come here to cool off. One of their favorite places to throw water is right underneath on their belly and then behind their ears. Jane, hello. Very interesting point that you raised there, or I'm not so sure if we can call it a fact just yet, but I haven't heard of that before with regards to the fat layer. I'm not sure if that's sort of overall on the entire body of a springbok, but my understanding in terms of their speed has to do with the proportion of the length of their legs to the size of their body, and that allows them to be able to move at speeds of around 88 kilometers per hour, which is adapted to being able to, of course, get away from predators such as cheetahs, which are very fast for short bursts. And so, yeah, I haven't heard of anything to do with a particular fat layer being thinner than other species. I think it's particularly to do with their body structure. Fat layer may have something to do with it. It's not something that I've read before. But like I say, the proportion of the leg length, as well as being quite slender, allows them to move at the speeds that they do. But I will have a look to see if there's anything further that's come up recently that I'm not aware of. Alright, well, lovely to see this big boy here at Onguma. We're going to head back to Kenya and check in at Old Onyo. Oh, wow, this is very cool. We have some helmeted guinea fowl here, a whole flock of them that have come for a drink. Wow, just look at those reflections. Always lovely to have the zebras come and join too. Just beautiful when they all are together like this. Always nice to have a giraffe come and say hello. Oh, there's a Kenya rockagama that was just on the rock there with the orange head and the blue body. very turquoise, brightly colored male. There he is, beautiful agama. Those colours are, it's like the lilac breasted roller of reptiles. Yes, Ellie, wow, indeed. Catherine, gorgeous colors. I mean, it is just almost like it's glowing, isn't it? Those, that turquoise especially. Very impressive. And there's definitely one that's resident here around these rocks. I haven't seen it recently, but I have seen it before here. Agamas are known by their very triangular heads, so in comparison to skinks and lizards, agamas there's a few different features, but particularly with the head shape, it stands out quite a lot. Oh wow, that was quite the movement. Did a little leap and everything. Alright, let's head back over to Safari Hook. My word, all of a sudden there's so much life here too. There we have some gemsbok as well as a giraffe coming to drink at this waterhole. Definitely sounds like there's an elephant around as well, which I'm not surprised at. Cooling off. Beautiful to see all these gemsbok arriving here. You can see in comparison to the ones that we see in East Africa, in my opinion, the ones that are there are a little bit pinker in color. Of course, having the fringe ear is something very distinctive, but these here in Southern Africa are more gray in color, I would say. Wow, that particular gemsbok there in the middle has such long horns. That would usually be when they're very long, a female. The males tend to be a little bit shorter but a lot thicker in width. Those are just very impressive in length. Well, hello everyone, we are back here at Jamala, and oh my goodness, just look at all these ellies. Wonderful stuff. It's been a while since I've seen so many here. There's another herd arriving. Very excited, I'm sure, to come off, cool down and enjoy a little drink. Ellie, this is definitely elephant heaven, my goodness. I don't know if we're going to see any pool parties, but it's definitely the right sort of situation for it to maybe take place.
Let's go and take a look. See you out there.
Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh. Whoa. This is action-packed.
My full name is Emojis. Best part of my job is coming to see nature. Worst part of my job is logging. That's the worst thing ever, because you have to log amount of footage. You sit in front of that computer and yeah, you think of deleting the footage, but no, they need the footage. If I want a camel, probably a soccer player. I know some people don't believe me, but I'm very good, I'm very fast.
Every week, the wilderness delivers.
And that's why we're here.
Drama, chaos, crimes, humour. All moments you'll never forget. We've counted them down, argued about them, and finally picked the very best. From rare sightings to classic bush showdowns, this is nature's weekly highlight reel. Sharp facts, bad jokes, and the wildest top 5 you'll see this side of the savannah. It's not just a show, it's a wild bush week.
Out here, every wild moment counts, and as a wild earth explorer, you will not miss out. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7, and you can even rewind if you have missed out on something. Enjoy the behind-the-scenes video clips as well as fireside chat, or get the early offers on our travel experiences. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
And approaching, looks like a female. Not quite as big. We were talking about how big eland are, being the largest antelope in the world, but the females are not as big as the males. You'll see that she's a little bit slimmer. Very long, skinny horns as well. not as quite as much weight in the front part of the body. See another one approaching there. Lucy, hi, you want to know how far elephants can walk in search of food and water in a day. So it really does depend, Lucy, but if need be, they can cover hundreds of kilometers in a day in order to search for food and water. And for example, elephants in deserts can cover 482 kilometers within a year, and on certain days they might cover more kilometers than others depending on where the resources are. Elephants, for example, in Tsavo, in Kenya, can walk between 50 to 150 kilometers in a single day, even over 200 k's if they need to, which is about 120 miles or so, in search of water. So they can cover a very far distance if they need to, in order to get to water that they need to survive. Let's head over to Katapan. It seems like elephants are the order of the day suddenly. I'm not complaining though, that's for sure. And here we have 3 boys that have come for a drink. Deb. So when it comes to guinea fowl, there are a lot of different things that would prey upon them. Anything from leopards and lions, specifically younger individuals that are practicing hunting, to birds of prey very easily can take guinea fowl. Crocodiles as well, if they're at the edge of the water. So they are an easy target, much like spur fowls and ground birds in general, especially ones that are in flocks. They are not so inconspicuous, like for example korhans and some of the birds that aren't in flocks, or that rely more on being camouflaged with the ground, whereas guinea fowl are quite loud. There's lots of them often together, and so that makes them a lot more easier to find, I suppose. And also with being more together, you'll find that it's a easy target for something like a bird of prey to swoop down and grab one.
See you out on the safari.
It could be a very exciting morning.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change.
My name is Takudzwa Panda Msesani. My scariest moment is when it happened twice. The other time I was with Cedric and the other time I was with Steve. And all those times, it was a black mamba. My favorite meal in camp is gonna be burger and chips.
Greatest wildlife spectacle on planet Earth. We'll see you there.
We are here with a male leopard.
One already heading across the water. I'm hoping for a little bit of a swim, but I'm not sure. Pondy, yes, it does feel like the elephants are being teleported from one location to the next, doesn't it? That one's having a little scratch there against that tree on the other side. Deb, yeah, when it comes to elephants, they do seem to be always moving. They don't have a set sort of sleep time like us as humans, generally speaking. One goes to bed, sleeps for 8 hours and wakes up again, lives their day. Whereas with elephants, it's a little bit more, let's say, less routine based than what we are. They will often take time around this time of the day. Actually, it very much depends on the weather as well, but they usually take some time in the hottest parts of the day to just rest in the shade, lower the brain function, not do too much at all. And then at night, we do know that elephants move around. They don't completely shut down during the evening. They probably don't, I would say, cover as much distance because they are not adapted to see at night. They are known as diurnal animals. And so at night, they do feel a little bit more vulnerable. They're not as confident, I would say. And so sometimes we hear them feeding and moving, but they're not sort of as active as they would normally be during the daytime. And sometimes in that time they may find time to rest, but they also need to be alert to an extent because they are naturally still prey animals, even though they're generally not hunted by very much. They still need to be cautious at night, much like other antelopes and things that feel a little bit more vulnerable at that time. You can see that boy had a little bit of a splash and a swim, and then coming to throw that sand on himself. And it's often a pattern that we see with these elephants. I think that sand feels really good, sticks to the body, acts as a bit of an exfoliant as well when they go and rub up against something. Yeah, Catherine, it's a beautiful tree. It's got a weeping bourbon. It's got such beautiful red flowers at the moment. You can see the weavers are busy there, the yellow birds, the nests are starting, and it is full of life. We are going to head over to Naledi Dam. Apologies everyone, we decided to go to safari instead. We have quite a lot of eddies here as well as a giraffe. Looks like there's a curry bustard that's come to drink as well. We've had one hanging around for a while now, and every now and again it does pop down to have a drink. Great to see this curry bustard. It seems to be puffing up its neck feathers a little bit there. Oh, there we go. There we go. That was very cool. Not fully, but definitely wanting to make itself look bigger, maybe with the springbuck moving past. They have such an impressive display that they can do. Yeah, exactly, Lady Macbeth. I mean, look at that size. It is a massive bird. It's almost, I mean, it's pretty much the same height, if not a little bit taller. So it just really gives you an idea of how massive the Cory bustard is. Alright, let's head back over to Cat Eye. Oh, that's very cool. My goodness me, this looks like a rock monitor. You can just see the size of that lizard. A little bit different to the water monitor in coloration. That is very, very impressive. Oh my goodness, definitely the coolest sighting of the day, I would say. Oh, I'm so glad he's sticking around, enjoying some sunshine. Being a reptile, and we've had such cool weather the last 2 days in the Lowveld that it makes sense for reptiles to be coming out and enjoying some sun.
What does it take to handle the wild? Balance. Determination. Focus.
Yaku!
And gear that can take a beating so you don't have to.
Ria, you say the best kind of roadblock? Absolutely. Look at this.
Hello, girls. Out here, every moment counts. As a Wild Earth explorer, you won't miss a thing. Watch the Wild Earth channel ad-free 24/7 and rewind if you want to catch something again. Enjoy behind the scenes videos, fireside chats and early access to travel offers. It's the best way to stay connected and be part of the Wild Earth family.
The eye helps to clean out any dirt, protect it from the wind. Gorgeous scales on the skin. You can see the markings, and it'll be interesting to see if it does its little tongue flick, tasting the air. Oh, eyes are closing. So as much as it is a predator, it can also be preyed upon. I mentioned the martial eagle earlier, but it too is looking for things like eggs of other animals, small birds, so many different things that it can try and hunt as well. Yeah, Deb, it is amazing, isn't it? Just to notice those finer details in nature, to see on this individual how those patterns are all perfectly aligned, both above and below the mouth. It is rather amazing. these lizards reach about 2 meters or 6.5 feet in length, and I have a feeling that this is about as big as they get, just based on what we could see. Of course, it's difficult to say when you don't have something relative next to it, but it did just look quite large and very, very long. Wow, well, what a sighting this is. We are going to go and see what it found us. Well, I was hoping this would be the case. Lovely to add another species to our show today, and here we have a white rhino that has come to drink.
Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website.
My name is Takuzwa Panda Msesani. I really want to film an artwork, and it has been my goal. I'll be just keeping my eyes open. The worst driver is Jem. He's driving, yeah. You gotta be holding on back in there, yeah? Like in bumps, and I mean, it happens when, these things happens when you're actually going for animals usually. But then, yeah, he's driving, yeah, you gotta put your seatbelt.
Ah, the bush, full of beauty, wonder, and absolute chaos. And now, all that madness has its own show. It's called a Wild Bush Week. The countdown of the most outrageous, heart-stopping, and sometimes downright ridiculous wildlife moments of the week. Lions throwing their weight around. Hyenas gate-crashing the buffet. Leopards doing, well, leopardy things. Each week, it's a fresh reel of safari gold. A mix of drama,
She's just got an impala, everybody.
danger, and a healthy dose of laughter. So, if you fancy a highlight show with bite, and I don't mean just the animals, tune in to a Wild Bush Week. You bring the tea, and we'll bring the tusks, tails, and teeth.
Okay, we're going to head over to Otonio. Always good to be back here for the last little bit of the show. Here we have an elephant cooling off. You can clearly see doing some splashing, as well as some zebra. Thanks, Jive Bunny. It's been great being with you today. I will be back with you tomorrow and the next day, so I'm looking forward to that. I wasn't sure, of course, as always, what we were going to see today, but I think that we have been treated, especially with that rock monitor coming to say hello there. The low felt my word, just to have those close-ups and to see it out in the open like that for quite a long time was special. Of course, plenty of elephants around, zebra, we had some giraffe, some different antelopes, and some very interesting chats as well, which is always great. Thanks to all of you. Diane, so the difference between the mountain zebra and the ones that we're seeing on screen now is, first of all, their location, of course, and then there are a few differences. One being, when it comes to the mountain zebra, they have quite a pink nose. So above where the sort of front of the mouth is, it's very, very pink. In comparison, they also have much thicker stripes with no shadow stripe, and those stripes don't extend all the way under the belly. Like if you look at the ones we're looking at now, those stripes will basically touch underneath the belly. There's usually like a thick black stripe where they all connect to, running horizontally in comparison to the vertical, whereas with the mountain zebra they all sort of stop just over the side at the start of the belly. So that's another factor. And then they also have smaller hooves, which help them to be able to climb up mountains and things like that. All right, well, hopefully we can see them. We do sometimes see them in some of our Namibian locations, so maybe they'll be on screen for us soon. But to everyone who joined us today, thank you so much for all your comments and questions. We really do appreciate it. And yes, we are looking forward to being back with you tomorrow. Remember the live drives coming up this afternoon. And keep well, everyone. We hope to see you again tomorrow. It's going to be great. I'm already excited, but have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And from myself and the team here at Live at the Waterhole, we will see you again soon. Goodbye for now.
Thank you.